ואנחנו ממשיכים לעוד שיחה בנושא של שיתופי פעולה אזוריים בין חזון למציאות. אני מאוד שמחה להזמין את דוקטור אבתסאם אל-כתבי, former and president Emirates Policy Center U.A.E. You're welcome. וגם כמובן את קסניה, סבטלובה, שהיא תדבר איתה, עמיתת מחקר בכירה, מכון קונסול אטלנטיק, מנכ"לית וופס, חברת הכנסת לשעבר. בבקשה. קסניה, עד כאן.
Good afternoon, مساء الخير. Dr. Ebtesam, نرحب بك. أهلا وسهلا. It's a great honor to have you here with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So there are too many questions actually that I would like to pose to you, but we are very limited in time. This is not fair. I demanded more. I said at least an hour, but they limited us for 20 minutes.
That's enough.
So without further ado, I would like to start with asking you about the unbelievable 3 years of Abraham Accords. Time flies when you enjoy it. And 3 years ago, we were surprised and thrilled to hear for the first time that there is an upcoming opportunity that materialized into this splendid accords that took place between our countries. How you can sum it up, what we achieved, and more importantly, what didn't we achieve in these 3 years?
Thank you. But I have to warn you and the attendees, I'm not diplomat. And I'm always talking frankly. Well, in terms of I call that it is a historical moment, and it's a game changer when we signed that, and it went very well. I mean, if you take indicators and metrics, you will see have many achievements done, especially between U.A.E. and Israel, in economy, in artificial intelligence, even in military intelligence cooperation. This has went very well. And there is one thing we couldn't achieve, both of us. Part of it because of your government, part because of the Palestinian authorities, which is the Palestinian issue, okay? And you know how we market Abraham Accords in the region, that this will bring peace, okay? And normalization with Israel will create an arc of prosperity and no more conflict in the region. And this is a warm peace, which is, yes, this is also a great achievement in that part between us, where it's people to people. And this is going on. But, and with other signatories. But there are something related to the internal politics in Israel, with the latest government in Israel, okay? And this is, it will not kill the Abraham Accord. The signatories will not pull out, but we will not have another signatories, okay? Which we are looking to engage more from the Arab world and non-Arab world, okay? Because of what's happening. Your latest government is putting off everybody. My government, other signatories are embarrassed in front of the Arab people. And they have to say something, okay? And they want a solution for that. And they want that because they invested heavily in the Abrahamic Accord. And they're still investing in that. But they wish that to make it win-win for everybody, okay? When we signed that, the Iranians were upset. How? The Arabs normalized with Israel, and they did not normalize with us. And it was a big loss for them. Today, I would say, it's a big loss for Israel when the Saudis signed with the Iranians.
So about the Iranians, it's good that you mentioned that, because it seems that the U.A.E. Is indeed a pioneer in many spheres, in diplomacy, for sure, and it stated really an example led the way for Abraham Accords also with other countries. But when we see now also the relentless and endless diplomatic activity of U.A.E. that also brought the Syria into the Arab fold, and also the rapprochement with Iran. Is there a place for Israel now around this happy table of countries that used to be enemies and now getting closer to each other?
We have many tables, not only one table. Look, well, you know, the relation between countries is not about love. It's about interest, okay? And we've been in Syria, okay? We've been working in the Kurdish issue with the American. And we've been lately, because our position is totally different from the beginning, and the Arab Springs were fighting, but we were fighting the jihadists, we were fighting the Muslim Brotherhood, but also it turned that the Muslim Brotherhood took Egypt, took Tunisia, they're coming to take, so that war, which we've been involved in it doesn't work for our interest. So we thought that, well, if there is a vacuum in Syria, these groups will take over. So we started to think again. No, how we fight those extremists, and also we not let Syria fall totally. Now somebody will say they are falling in the Iranian arms. I would say there will be a chance. Why it's gambling. Politics is about gambling, yeah? And you calculate things and you see, you play with your cards. Because we did a mistake when we left Iraq totally for Iran. We were not engaging with them. And that time we started. We were the first who started having normalization with Assad. Then the other realized what we are talking about, engaging Syria again. And somebody talking about previous session about the Kiptagon issue, which is really affecting all of us, the whole world, the European, the American, the Arabs. Okay, and this is, we have to work together to stop that. Okay, either by normalizing with Assad, either by bringing another sources, okay, not to sustain the regime, to sustain the national country and national state, not to fall either in the with the extremists or with the people of Kiptagon or with the Iranian.
Do you see, as an Emirati, a chance there for Israel as well, perhaps with the help of the Arab Gulf diplomacy, JCC? Because I can tell you frankly that many Israelis are more than concerned when they look at the flying carpet of Iranians and also Syrians pouring into the Gulf, Arab delegations going there, and generally in the frame of the international relations, the Arab countries are approaching more and more with China and perhaps getting further away, drifting away from the United States.
No, look, well, the China is American mistake, okay? Because since they announced that they are pivoting towards Asia, and Obama's administration had that 2015 deal and did not take in consideration the Gulf's concern about the Iranian militias and missiles, and now we have drones. So they said, okay, it's fine. We will diversify. We will pivot to Asia as well. And there was a vacuum. And that vacuum, the American left from the door, the Chinese came from the window. Okay? And they were offering everything in terms of economy and their investment, while the American, they are not. Always they accusing the Gulfists, okay? And yes, but the military umbrella, will be always with the American, okay? Their allies did not pivot from them, but they pivoted, okay? And at that time, they gave Iran everything with the deal of 2015. In fact, Iran get enriched more militia. 4 capitals, Arabic capitals, fall with the Iranian militias. Okay, so what you will do? You have another on the door willing to cooperate with you. Now, in terms of the latest rapprochement between Saudi and Iran, okay. Now, the Saudi, they did not see the American willing to do either, to protect them from the Houthi missiles or from the Iranian missiles or drones, okay? They did not offer them the umbrella. And the Chinese coming as a stabilizer factor, they present themselves vis-a-vis the American. They always comes with war. And they need to protect themselves from Iran, protect their model, to focus on building their new project, new state, okay? The Chinese came there because they have good relation between both, the Iranian and the Saudi, and they gave their security guarantees, okay? It's not only about Yemen coast, this is part of that, but for the Iranian, it is geostrategic, okay? To break this isolation, the sanction isolation, and to go also to the Arabic countries' market via Saudi. Now, and also the Iranian deep state see that they were looking east, but for the deep state, they think Russia is more valuable in terms they are giving them more military rather than only economic partnership. And they think the Chinese is biased towards Saudi because of the energy. And it also, for the Chinese, it serves their interests, stable area for energy transportation. Now, you will ask me, this can be, and the Iranian looking for the Saudi investment in their economy, in their infrastructure, poor infrastructure, and their economy is suffering. But how can Saudi navigate the American sanctions? Okay?
Also in Syria, the Caesar Act.
Yeah, how can they do that? And this is the question. And if there is some conflict between them and the Iranian, they will not be guaranteeing that their money coming back also. So, and the other issue is that Iran is still nuclear, is still having the missiles, and is still developing missiles and drones, and it's the militias in the region. So this is a recipe for stability. I don't think so, because nothing changed on the Iranian side, just promises, okay? But this can be, otherwise we'll see that Houthi is not going to control Sana'a, and the militia in Iraq is there, and those militia in Lebanon, Hezbollah. These are questions which is raised considering the issue on the ground. What about the future for them?
There are definitely more unknowns in this equation right now than the known parts. But in general, if we are talking about the idea that was floated for some time of the Arab NATO and Israel, can we safely say that this idea is passed away from the world?
Look, I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question about Israel. When I said, was a chance, and there is still the chance, the Abrahamic Accord. The Iranian, they were happy having this deal with Saudi, or agreement. This is serve also pushing Saudi away from signing the Abraham Accords. This is what I'm saying. If there is a hope, it's about the Abrahamic Accords, okay? So you guys here, you have a homework to do it here, okay? Because this will help the signatories, okay, to bring newcomers to board in that, Abraham Accords, so the table will be there vis-a-vis others. Now you will tell me, I'll tell you yes, on those signatures you are on the table. In Syria, with the Iranian cause, there is a problem. If Iran is there, the Iranian not accepting you, you will not accept the Iranian to be there. Now we have the problem with the regime. And the regime seems that they are staying for a long time because they engineered the society in a way they can suppress any kind of demonstration, no matter you thought that any demonstration will turn or will topple the regime.
But this was exactly the idea behind the architects on the Israeli side and the American side of the Abraham Accords. That was precisely what they were thinking in the beginning. Let's arrange this alliance of Arab moderate states and United States, of course, and Israel. And on the other side, you will have the malign and dangerous regime of Iran. So what changed?
Look.
And please, if you can refer to the question of the Arab NATO as well.
But Arab NATO was an idea, and I think it's not anymore on the table. It's not anymore on the table. It was a Trump idea. We have problem with the Americans themselves. When Trump came, he just made X on any Obama's legacy. And now, when Biden came, he was not enthusiastic about the Abrahamic Accords because it's Trump's legacy. I think this is something strategic. Although, yes, Trump did that, okay? But it is not lasting because of Trump. Trump left, and the Abrahamic Accords is still there. So it's in the interest of everybody to have a stable region. Is good also for the American. And they have to know, the European themselves, they have to be engaged in that and to help that. This is a win-win situation for everybody. Otherwise, everybody will look to protect themselves by rapprochement with the cause of threat to them, how to protect themselves.
Ebtesam, we have little time left, and I still have two questions. One is about the youth. We see repeatedly the data from the Arab world, and in the last year and a half, unfortunately, there is a decline in support of the Abraham Accords, especially within the youth groups, 20 to 45, okay, this age group. Were the expectations, were they connected specifically to the Palestinian issue or perhaps to also wider economic engagement perhaps with Israel? How do you analyze this?
Look, because the expectation was high about the Abrahamic Accords, okay? And as I said, and also we are not marketing the achievement, not from our side, not from your side, and we are working with Dayan University to have that matrix, which all the indicators shows, because people, they don't see it. It's not only because Palestinian cause, but because people expected that will, as I said, generate an arc of prosperity, and it will bring jobs to the young generation, it will bring hopes. But you guys also, you are involved with internal politics more than the Abrahamic Accords. And there are things you have to fix it inside, because also it affects your image in the region. That people want to work with you, okay? So that's why the youth, they were having that will bring them job, will bring them a new future for them.
Well, I'm completely with you. I would trade the domestic politics for dealing with Abraham Accords any single day. To end our conversation on a positive note, I would like to ask you about the aspect of religious dialogue and the promotion of the idea of moderation. There was Satya by United Arab Emirates. How did this idea develop? I know that this is a huge question for just a minute that we have, but please.
Okay, if it's a minute, I encourage you to read my book about religious diplomacy, the role of U.A.E. Well,
write the notes.
The diplomacy, U.A.E. vision is that we have something between all of us, okay? And this is we can work in it, okay, to solve the conflict between us. We all belong to Abraham. We have many things to work on it. But the extremists see only their interest. That's why, and they isolate themselves and they isolate the others. And this is when we call religious diplomacy must be a one component of every country's diplomacy. It's one component of our diplomacy. We had many initiatives. The dialogue between religions. We had many initiatives in terms. We have this promoting the forum, promoting the peace for tolerance. Because if I don't tolerate you, your opinion, your gender, your religion, whatever you are, we will have this conflict always, everywhere, in the region and outside the region.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ebtesam Al-Ketbi. And we'll continue Walk and Pray for Peace. Thank you.